We have something, right? Before I do that, there's just one little thing I have to clear up. Oh, and what's that? Who really killed Prosecutor Neil Marshall? What? Chief Gann, you are absolutely right. This piece of cloth proves who the real murderer is. Who killed Neil Marshall, you ask? It was Emma Skye, wasn't it? I'm afraid that's not possible. You see, this piece of cloth contains a critical contradiction. What? A contradiction? What is this fool babbling about? I'm talking about a contradiction. One that proves who the real killer is. Miss Wright, this piece of cloth, what could it possibly contradict? Chief Gann, your tyrannical reign ends here. Behold, the piece of evidence that contradicts this cloth. The piece of evidence that contradicts this cloth. The blood is on the shirt. Well, I don't know. Is it this? Or is it this picture? But why is that, though? Let's see. Shit. And what exactly is this supposed to be? This is the picture of Miss Skye. Picture Miss Skye took. Take a good look at it. What? See where the piece of this vest? See where the piece of this vest was cut out? Yes. His shirt is showing underneath. It's hard to make out with all the blood on his vest, though. Exactly my point. His chest is soaked with blood. That's only natural. And the cloth didn't have any blood on it. Is that why? His lungs no doubt were punctured. Blood poured out of his mouth. Oh, but that piece of cloth doesn't have any blood on it. Wait, there's no blood on it. Ah! Since Emma Skye's fingerprints are on this cloth, there's no doubt that she shoved the prosecutor aside. However, Mr. Marshall was not impaled on the sword at that time. No, this is nonsense. Now then, Chief Gann, let me ask you something. Prosecutor Marshall was not impaled when he was shoved aside. He most likely hit his head on the ground and was knocked out. If so, then tell me, who could it have been? Who could have arrived at the scene before Miss Lana Skye, picked up by the unconscious prosecutor, and impaled him on the armor's sword? Then, to make it look like Emma was responsible for the prosecutor's death, said person proceeded to write her name on a jar with the victim's blood, a jar that they then broke on purpose to leave behind a clue and make Lana believe her sister did it. Remember what you admitted only moments ago. That you personally cut out this bloodless piece of the victim's vest? Ironic, isn't it? Through the very act of creating insurance, you proved that you were the actual murderer. It's finally all over. Huh. Oh no. What's going on now? Heh. Heh heh heh. Ha ha ha. That was close, Righto. You almost had me. What's now? Sorry, but you'll have to do better than that. I refute your allegations. What do you mean you refute his allegations? You see, that piece of cloth is illegal evidence. Order, order. What nonsense is this? Illegal evidence cannot be used to convict a suspect. Remember, Aji? Earlier, old Wright here concealed that piece of cloth. So then, what's your excuse, Wright? You do have some conclusive evidence, don't you? Your Honor, I don't have any evidence I can present at this point in time. Well, that's true. The defense did refuse to present evidence. At that moment, that piece of cloth ceased to be legal evidence. But that's not fair. Did you actually think you could best me in court? It looks like the last laughs on you, son. What the hell? I'm afraid Mr. Gant's claim is legally correct. Well, Mr. Edgeworth? True. Illegal evidence cannot be used to convict a person, assuming, of course, that the evidence is indeed illegal. Well, Miss Wright? It seems, at last, the time for me to reveal my plan has finally arrived. Oh, what's our plan though? I don't know. Mr. Wright, do you admit it? That you purposefully and illegally concealed this piece of cloth? Purposefully and illegally concealed this piece of cloth. I did not. Well, I don't know. I did? No. If I admit to that, all my planning will have been for nothing. Well, okay, then we should lie then. It seems Miss Wright didn't understand the implication of his conduct. What the hell, okay. Okay, well, then I guess we're supposed to lie then. I did not. I admit, I refused to present it at one point. Aha! So the evidence is illegal. No, it isn't, Mr. Gant. Huh? It's not that I didn't present evidence then. It's that I couldn't. What do you mean, you couldn't? There are certain procedures involved when presenting evidence. No, Aji, don't listen to his lies. He's nothing but a coward. You can't really... There is only one issue left to be resolved in this trial. Is this evidence legal or not? Very well. Let us settle this once and for all. Earlier, you refused to present evidence. If you can prove your conduct was not in violation of the law, then do so now. And then we have this book. No evidence shall be shown without the approval of the police department. Unregistered evidence presented must be relevant to the case on trial. This is my proof, Your Honor. Evidence law. I love the book. The cover. What's this? I've done my homework too, Chief. Indeed, Emma Sky's fingerprints were on this piece of cloth. However, at that point in time, this was merely a piece of cloth, nothing more. What? You see, it's written right here in this book. The second rule of evidence law. Rule 1. No evidence shall be shown without the approval of the police department. I found this piece of evidence myself, inside your safe. It goes without saying I did not have approval from the police department. Rule 2. Unregistered evidence presented must be relevant to the case on trial. And here's the crux of the matter. You see, at the time it was impossible for me to prove the relevance between the cloth and the SL9 incident. What? What kind of nonsense is this?